Welcome back, friends. So we continue with our reading for business English. You might recall that in the last couple of classes we have been doing a variety of passages and reading exercises in order to hone our skills, improve our skills of reading for business purposes. I also told you in your last class that business English is different from any other kind of English because of the kind of jargon and language it uses. Business English दूसरी तरह के इंग्लिश से इसलिए विपरीत होती है, अलग होती है कि उसमें अलग तरह की भाषा का प्रयोग होता है. Because if you, for example, if you look at another course like technical communication, then you will be using more of technical jargon. In this kind of course, we will be using more of business kind of language, vyapar ki bhasha. That's what I would call in Hindi. So this is what we have been doing so far. Apart from doing more passages, conventional kinds of passages, passage that we have been doing. So that is also, that's something that we will do again. So a few examples of that, those kinds of exercises as well, along with passages that require filling in the appropriate words. So completing passages and also reading job ads or adverts and how to identify specific information. So let's get going and let's start with the first passage. Look at this one. Passage 1. He is packing his bags again. December 2012, when he turned 75, is the third scheduled retirement for Ratan Tata. The Tata Group has been at this inflection point twice earlier and stepped back both times. In 2002, when Tata was to retire at 65, the Tata Sons board promptly redesignated him non-executive chairman, which meant he could continue for another 5 years. 3 years later, the board upped the retirement age of non-executive directors to 75. The message is clear. Ratan Tata is indispensable, and it's not just the board that feels that way. There were loud cries of support from shareholders at the Tata Steel AGM, that is annual general meeting, in August, held soon after the announcement that Tata Sons had created a panel to find Tata's successor. We can't lose our Ratan jewel, said one shareholder, while others asked him to stay on as chairman emeritus. Whether or not he acknowledges it openly, Tata must be feeling vindicated by this public recognition of his worth. When he took over as Tata Group chairman on March 25, 1991, critics were loud and unrestrained in their disapproval and skepticism. Ratan Tata was considered to have gained his position purely on the strength of his surname. He was incompetent, raged opponents both within and outside Bombay House, and he didn't possess an iota of the charisma of his uncle and predecessor, J.R.D. Tata. Nearly 20 years later, Ratan Tata has achieved almost everything on his 1991 agenda at rupees 3.46 lakh crore. Tata Group revenue is 40 times the 1991 level, while net profit has gone up 4 times. Look at some of the difficult words here. Redesignated, indispensable, these are not only helpful words to know and to improve your vocabulary, but they may also act as cues in order to understand reading passages. Iota, vindicated, emeritus. Look at the words here. Try to find out the meanings of these words. There are excellent books available in the market on learning business English, both Cambridge University as well. Perhaps you can look up Macmillan or also Oxford. These universities have excellent materials available on business English and business vocabulary. Also a variety of other exercise also, but these publishing groups also publish dictionaries of business English. So perhaps you can, or if not dictionaries, then textbooks on improving vocabulary of business English. You can look these up and look at these words also, which are very common words, but in case you don't know, you will have to, of course it pays to enrich your vocabulary, and these are the words that you should know that we just found in this particular passage. So let us look at the questions here now. What are some of the instances that prove that Ratan Tata is crucial to the company? A. Because of his uncle. B. Because of the name and brand that he embodies. C. Due measures were taken to prevent his retirement. So what would be your response? And look at the second question. Ratan Tata is so dash to the company that he is called the dash of the company. Third, find a word in the passage that means the same as inept. And then last one, true or false. When Ratan Tata first took over as the chairman of the company in 1991, he was positively received. And let's discuss the answers first. So, what does it, what is the best, or which is the best answer? The best answer for the first question is C. Due measures were taken to prevent his retirement. That is clearly stated. The key word in the question is instance. So, give the instance that he is extremely crucial to the company. So, due measures were taken to prevent his retirement, including hiking the retirement age. The answer to the second question is indispensable. We have given here, this is one of the important words here, indispensable, someone who, without whom there cannot be, you cannot survive. Air is indispensable to live. So that important, that crucial. And Ratan is a Hindi word which means jewel. So Ratan Tata, true to his name, is indeed a jewel for his company. Third, inept is equivalent to incompetent. It means not good enough, not skilled enough, not competent enough. And the last one is false. His position as a chairman was not received positively at all. There were instances, there were allegations of nepotism. That's also stated quite clearly in the passage. Let us look at the second second exercise now, second passage. Facebook's internal research shows that exposing users to voting reminders that include pictures or names of friends also makes them more likely to vote. Algorithmic shifts that prioritize showing these kinds of messages to certain groups of voters and suppressing them from others could theoretically be used to help a particular candidate. Currently, however, candidates can't manipulate the algorithm. They only have access to Facebook's public organizing and advertising tools. They can create fan pages, pay to promote posts, use Facebook ads to recruit fans, recruit members for their email lists, and deploy apps that supporters can use to engage their friends. And while shifts in Facebook's algorithms can hurt the organic reach of posts by candidate pages, theoretically these changes are deployed without the intent to harm or benefit specific campaigns. The algorithm makes Facebook different from other media. We don't see a customized TV feed or hear different radio songs based on what we have liked before. This algorithm has long been a black box for people outside of the company. Now it's time for the platform to explain how it influences what political content gets spread on the network. Advertising is another area where Facebook needs to radically increase transparency. While candidates must disclose their spending on required campaign finance filings, they can avoid reporting their exact Facebook spending amounts by hiring a firm to run the ads and paying for them as part of their overall consulting fee. Look at the reference also, and look at some of the difficult words here: manipulation, algorithm, organic, customized, transparency. So these are the words that you should know, and if you can make them part of your everyday lexicon, then it's going to add a lot of value to your speaking abilities. Now let's look at the questions based on that. Look at the first question. Identify what the passage is about and jot down the key points of the text. A tricky question. You have to jot down the key points of the text. The second question, potential candidates avoid showing their Facebook financial dealing by seeking the help of a third party. True or false? And third, find a word from the passage that means reveal. Look at the fourth question also. How does the algorithm make Facebook different from other media? A, it is online. B, prioritization of messages and personalized feeds. And C, there is no transparency to it. We will discuss the answers now. So, what is the passage about? The passage is about how Facebook can influence elections. Okay, so election, algorithm, advertisement, these are the keywords here. The second statement is true. It's clearly stated at a certain point in the passage. They can avoid reporting their exact feedback spending amounts by hiring a firm to run the ads. So, therefore, it's true. And reveal is disclose. So, the answer to the third question, reveal, disclose. Fourth is B. Remember, prioritization of messages and personalized feeds. That's the answer to that. Option C is not correct. We are already told that Facebook does have some amount of transparency to it. Let's move on to the next exercise. Complete the passage below using the words given. Maintain, system, growth, research, reason, competitors, report, market, patterns, share. So, not necessarily in this order. Daymer Associates, a market dash organization, has prepared an independent dash for us. Touchline sales are good in the UK. Each European country has a separate distribution and different purchasing. As a result of TV coverage, Europe is dash market for American sporting equipment. In 4 years, sales of our products have dashed dramatically in the UK. This is because our US dash are not interested in the market yet. When US producers show a real interest in Europe, Touchline Trading may not be able to dash its market in the UK. Look at the reference also and fill in the blanks using these words. I will give you a moment. Here is your answer. Damier Associates, a market research organization, has prepared an independent report for us. Touchline sales are good in the UK market. Each European country has a separate distribution system and different purchasing patterns. In 4 years, sales of our products have risen dramatically in the UK. This is because our US competitors are not interested in the market yet. When US producers show a real interest in Europe, touchline trading may not be able to maintain its market growth in the UK. This is your solved exercise. Let's move on to the next one. Before we move on to the next slide, we are going to do how to read job advertisement. So, a job advertisement, one of the first qualities, it should be short, concise, precise, to the point. This is not a test of creative writing. An advertisement is creative writing, but this is not. You have to be straightforward, but it should also be extremely informative. You should know what you are or who you are looking for. So, instead of beating around the bush, you should advertise for the correct position and look out for the correct, or look for the correct person, right kind of a person. It is also important to include crucial details such as profile, that is a company profile, as well as the job profile. Job profile means what are you expected to do in that capacity, in that company or in that organization. You should also people who write job advertisements should also mention salary and the requirements. What are the requirements of the job? Perhaps there is a qualification needed. Those things should be very clear. For an advertisement of a thing, notice important things like product description, uniqueness, and most of the time also the cost, the price of that thing or the object. So, we advertise either for looking for the right kind of a person for a job, for a specific job, or we advertise for an object or a thing or a product. Let us look at this advertisement. Events producer, Guardian Live, hours, contract, education level, job function, job level. Please look at this advertisement carefully. Job title, department, normal location. Please go through this advertisement carefully. Okay, and here are your questions. First, who has placed this advertisement? A. The Hindu, B. Guardian Live, C. The Guardian. Next question, what job is being offered? A. Social media manager, B. Content writer, C. Events producer. Number 3, what is the education level required for this job? A. Higher secondary school education, B. Undergraduate college education, C. Undergraduate college education or equivalent. So, the answers are, the first one is quite clear, it is B. Guardian Live, is given right at the top, you can't miss it. And the answer to the second question is also very clear, it is given to at 2 places if I remember correctly, C. Events producer, and the third one is C. Undergraduate college education or equivalent. This was a fairly simple task. Things only get complicated very often in business English. You might face reading an advertisement, and it could be tricky. Next one, please look at this passage, and again the exercise is complete the passage or the text. Here at the Guardian, we believe in the open dash of information, ideas and opinions has the power to change the world for the better. Our independent journalism holds power to dash across the globe and brings information that's suppressed into the public domain. We are at a fascinating dash in our history. Our audience has never been larger, our journalism never more successful, our dash never stronger. Yet, the economics of the news business are incredibly dash, with large digital platforms eroding the ad market for quality publishing. As we dash to focus on reader revenues in this period of unprecedented change, the relationships we build with dash partners will be core to our success. Please look at the source also. You are expected to fill in the passage using the words given here, not necessarily in the correct order: brand, reorientate, account, key, volatile, juncture, exchange. If you feel that at this point that the vocabulary or the passages are getting tougher, please remember business English is tough. It's just like English for competitive exams. Business English is always a little more difficult than, let's say, technical English. So please take a moment, look at the passage and try to fill in the words. Look at the answers. The exercise has been done for you. Here at The Guardian, we believe the open exchange of information, ideas and opinions has the power to change the world for the better. Our independent journalism holds power to account across the globe and brings information that's suppressed into the public domain. We are at a fascinating juncture in our history. Our audience has never been larger, our journalism never more successful, our brand never stronger. Yet, the economics of the news business are incredibly volatile, with large digital platforms eroding the ad market for quality publishing. That's your solved exercise. Look at the words again here and see if you have done it correctly. Let's go back to the passage. Open dash of information. So, exchange of information, ideas, independent journalism holds power to change the world for the better. Change the world for the better. Our independent journalism holds power to account across the globe and brings information that's suppressed into the public domain. We are at a fascinating juncture in our history. See, we often say we are at a fascinating point in history. Juncture is nothing but a point, at a place. Our audience has never been larger, and then look at the rhythm of the sentence. Our journalism never more successful, our brand never stronger. Yet the economics of the news business are incredibly volatile with large digital platforms. See, look at the or pay attention to the connective linking word yet. It means there is a shift in idea, although we are very strong, but the economics of the news business are incredibly volatile. So, eroding the ad market for quality publishing. In this question, there is just one issue, the word reorientate that was given to you to fill in the blank, but we do not have an appropriate blank for that. You can also expect such kinds of questions. You might be given an extra word or two just so that you spend more time or you get confused, to add to your confusion. So, it may be possible that you come across such kinds of exercises also. Now, let us look at this one. Read the following job posting. Indian and Kerala ethnic food cook, restaurant Ocean Queen, location. So and so, Ontario, salary this much, hours for 35 hours per week, vacancies 2 vacancy, employment groups, newcomers to Canada, terms of employment, permanent, full time. Start date as soon as possible. Languages English, Malayalam, education, other trade, certificate or diploma, experience 3 years or more, specific skills, prepare and cook complete meals or individual dishes and foods, plan menus, determine size of food portions, estimate food requirements and costs and monitor and order supplies, inspect kitchens and food service areas, train staff in preparation, cooking and handling of food, supervise kitchen staff and helpers, maintain inventory and records of food supplies and equipment, clean kitchen and work areas, organize and manage buffet and banquet. Work setting, restaurant or food court, apply by email at this given email address, and this is the number, etc., etc. So, and this is the source I have given at the bottom. We just spoke about the characteristics of a typical job advertisement. Please see if this advertisement fulfills all the necessary characteristics of a good advertisement. So, we know who is being asked for, we know the salary, the number of hours, we know the qualifications, we know the work profile, it is extremely well articulated. We also know the language that the person is required, it is a permanent vacancy. We also know that there is a certain kind of experience that this job posting requires. It also has a good title, Indian and Kerala ethnic food cook, and the restaurant's name also is mentioned, Ocean Queen. Where is the work setting? So, it's a restaurant or food court, and then apply by email and the telephone number. So, all these are, otherwise who is the person, who is the person who is interested in applying for the job, the prospective candidate, where is he going to send his resume or express his interest, how is he going to do that. So, these details given at the bottom are extremely relevant. So, please look at these points. Note that a good job ad has job title, it should be specific about the role, the profile, it offers challenges, it does not offer rewards. You should tell them about the company. It is a restaurant and it has not yet in this particular advertisement, the description of the restaurant is not very detailed, but then we know that it is an Indian ethnic kind of restaurant, also with emphasis on the Kerala cuisine. And other short description, phone number for enquiries. So, all these details are given in this advertisement. It is an authentic ad which was which actually appeared in one of the Canadian newspapers. So, that is what we have done today. We have seen some passages, we have seen some complete the passage kind of exercises, and we have seen what are job advertisement and how to look for specific details in job advertisement. So, thank you very much, and when we meet in our last class for this particular week, we will do one more reading exercise.